all. I'm Brian here with From Earth to Hearth. Yeah, I got something new today, and look, no hands. Yeah, I got a headset set up on my head here, so that way I can do garden work and I don't have to worry about holding the dang camera. But yeah, today I'm going to be harvesting my mustard, or my mustard seed for making some yummy mustard. But according to the seed company, because again, there's not really any growing guides for actually growing mustard for mustard seed. It's mostly just for growing, mustard greens. They recommend harvesting it, once the plant starts drying and dying back, because you don't want it to dry fully. So even though some of these on the ends aren't fully mature, we're gonna just harvest them here. So I think we're at the point where it's just gonna start getting to the point of diminishing returns. And yeah, we'll get these harvested at some point. I think I'll have to do a growing guide on these, but overall, I mean, look at that bad boy. He is nice size, so I should probably grab a bigger one, but this will probably work just fine. But I guess the good news is, oh, where you come from? You're heading back in there. So the good news is, I can write the book on it since no one else has. Hello, bees. But one thing I definitely would say is these are super great plants for pollinators. Our neighbors, and there's one right there. Hopefully you can see him. A little honeybee. That's one of our neighbors' honeybees. We have a lot of natives as well. Obviously, since these plants are no longer blooming, everything has just loved these mustard plants. And since you're not really doing anything, normally most of your brassicas, you're harvesting for greens, you're harvesting, the florets and broccoli, same thing. So you're rarely really letting them go to seed and go into bloom. But since that's the whole point here, is to let these go to seed. Oh man, they are just very popular with the locals. And just easy to grow. Like, really had no issues this year with disease, no real issue with nutrition. They just grew really well. Was just kind of painless. Some cabbage moss, but since you're not growing them for the leaves or anything, it's really not an issue. Or it was never enough of an issue to matter. Yeah, and so what I'll do is I'm going to take these and we'll hang them up to dry up in our garage. I will set up there, I'll show you, which we've used for a couple of years and it's been really good for drying things and just kind of getting our little storage down. But yeah, I'm going to finish this up here. The ones down there in the other one, I think because they're getting shaded a little bit, they're probably a week behind these guys. And they just did really well. Those ones were individual plants, were a lot bigger, which makes sense. That bed is older. This one I just established, so obviously we've had some compost, but it takes time to really build soil. And this just hasn't had the time to really get built up and be mature. I think what I'll be doing, honestly, I'm going to remove, got some delicata kind of growing right there. Get out of here. So I think what I'm going to do when I follow up on is radishes. And that way, those will be kind of quick. They'll kind of grow. And we might do some other stuff. Again, this is a really new bed. So I'm not looking to get, or we're not going to be getting a ton of productivity out of it without adding a bunch of stuff. So just want to get a little rotation going. Something for the fall, because the rest of this is going to be in here for a while. Something like radishes. One, we'll get a lot of that seed used up, and two, it'll take up some of those spaces really nicely. But yeah, I'm gonna finish this up here, and I'll see you in the garage. All right, and we're back, and we're in the garage now. Here sort of our processing and storage area. So we got a mountain of mustard, and we're gonna hang it all up. Get some longer string. We're just gonna dry them out, and they'll dry out over here. This is just a little coat rack. This one's got wheels. You can see. You can obviously get ones that don't, or you just take the wheels off. And you got here. You can use that for just storing stuff. We just love and things that need hanging and drying. This thing is just so useful and cheap. It's just cheap. You can pick them up just about anywhere, and you can just use them for all your drying needs. We've dried peppers, we dry our garlic, or in our final stages, we'll hang and dry them here. I use the fans just to kind of keep an airflow going. The racks I'll also use behind it here with the fan pointed downward from harvesting greens. After I've washed them, I can just briefly put them there just to kind of dry them out. So, you know, when they're in the fridge, they don't just go bad. And then over here is just sort of our general sort of storage hutch. We picked this up, just off of someone, and store a lot of our extra jars. Got some of our pickling stuff. Got a scale, some tubs, some organization. Obviously things are in the drawers here. We use storage underneath. We got these storage baskets as well here. We usually keep some of our garlic in here. Yeah, this is our just whole processing and storage area. Obviously it grows and expands and shrinks depending on the needs of the time, what we're doing. But yeah, that wasn't too expensive. We picked that, just like I said, I think on Facebook Marketplace, someone was selling them, you know, easy way to store things. And then these are pretty cheap. This is a greenhouse rack. And they're not terribly expensive. They can be a little harder to find because I don't think they're made as much anymore. But you can get one of those cheap greenhouse kits, the small ones, and then just take the plastic off, take the top off, and there you go. You got a nice little shelving unit with racks that are great for airflow and drying things. I need a different tub here. All I usually do is put a little box. I had a box last year, but I went to using them that way. So you can use something like this. There's a tray, and there you go. That will just say you can just stack things here, and it moves around. So if you need to get it out of the way, that's really nice. But yeah, let's get on with the show. All right, which one is not going to fall? And I got scissors here, extra string because we're gonna need a lot of it. And then yeah, just gonna tie this up. So it'll probably end up tying some extra rope to this. And I don't want to tie everything too close together. Luckily, there's a lot of airflow between them. Like, they're not super stacked. And actually, so when you're doing this, and I, of course, did it without realizing it. So I'll untie it. This is just some simple kitchen twine. But, as this dries and it's going to possibly shrink, you want to kind of tie it around a branch as well. So if these shrink, you know, and get smaller, you don't just want this to go falling off. And that way it'll stay tied and hanging and won't go anywhere. Yeah. All right, well, there's one more. Yeah, let's get to it. Now I can actually tie a knot right. All right, well, let's keep going. I'll spare you watching me boringly just tie things here and let you see all the specialness when it's done. All right. There we are. I know, super high tech, just hanging stuff to dry, very 21st century. But yeah, this will be how we're gonna dry these mustard seeds out. Probably will take a couple weeks for it to really dry out. We'll see. Haven't done this particular plant before, so this is all an experiment. But a little bit more that I'll grab once it's ready to go. But here we are. Hopefully, near future, we'll have some fresh mustard to make. Yeah, I would definitely say, having first grown this plant this year, that this is a really easy to grow, easy to process, and really nice pollinator friendly plant. If you like mustard, I mean, there's really not much to do. I mean, these will just kind of dry out, and we'll just crack them out, and then you'll probably do a little bit of threshing. But having done wheat and grain, this is going to be way easier than that. As you can see, I was a little late on a couple of these where they've already shattered, so I'll probably have some. And that's, I think, why they recommend getting them before they dry, is because then basically you're going to have it self-seed itself. Because, hey, that's the whole thing. This variety is grown to grow seed. So if you're not careful, it will just self-seed itself. But that should be easy to weed. Looks like it's only one or two plants that were in one spot that did that. And I can definitely monitor it next year. But yeah, I hope this helps. Hope you enjoy. And yeah, I'll definitely do a video of when I make my first mustard with this. All right, have a great day.